Today on the show, we are talking wellness with Dr. Grant A. Fairbanks, and we are also talking certified clinical hypnotherapy. You're not going to want to miss it. All this and more
coming up
right here, right now. Here we go.
And welcome back to the show. It's a frigid morning here in Utah, which means it's winter.
It is very wintry. And it is the best winter in so long. How much are you loving life right now? I'm predicting, because we know we re-air our shows, so I'm predicting that you're going to be watching this in July and you're still going to be skiing.
Well, I'm not going to be skiing. And that's why this year has been very, very tough. We're having snowbird, we're well over 430 inches. We're having an amazing year. Our watershed, the lake, everything is great. I've got to get my second new knee.
Oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. How did I forget about that?
The best powder year in years. I can't play hockey, and this is what my teammates sent me after the last game. And you notice the model in humor with the rest in peace number 38.
Oh.
The boys are not being that sweet with me, but...
Okay, now wait, is this a redo or a different...
Different knee.
Okay, so it's...
We just called, by the way...
You're just becoming bionic. Did you just talk to Andy? Because I'm telling you...
No, we just called Farrell, and he's in the middle. Farrell Lafferty, who's been with the show
We love you, Farrell. We missed you.
We called him 5 minutes ago, and he was in physical therapy. He's going to call back.
Okay, good.
But Farrell's had a rough go.
We'll do a follow-up with you and Farrell and maybe Park City, and it won't have anything to do with the festival, but we'll just do a reunion for fun.
That would be so much fun. And I cannot recommend Tosh enough. So I've had a new shoulder, new hip, new knee. I am pain-free, and this knee was going to give out eventually, and it decided December to do it. And so I'm not being able to ski. I'm not able to...
What about hosting? Do you do any kind of...
I just go up now, and I do the hosting.
Hand out treats and say hi.
Yeah, I just glad
what
hand
you're
people.
good at. The best thing, I mean, not that you're not good at skiing and hockey, but you're great at socializing.
I love it. And again, Tosh, thank you so much. You've given me my life back, because literally I think it was 6 years ago, I couldn't lift my up here.
Oh,
I was limping. I was miserable. And all of a sudden, because of joint replacement surgery, I am
a new man.
Yeah.
So let's talk. Shoulder, all on the same side, on your right side?
Right shoulder, right hip, left knee replaced. Now I'm going to have my right knee.
What about this shoulder? Is it ever giving you a problem?
Never.
Never. And what about the other hip?
Nope, good.
Okay, so for the most part, we've got knees done, and then you're done for the rest of your life.
I am praying, but to be...
I just started talking about Andy's dad because everyone says, I've met Andy's dad from the point that he is like my personal hero as far as aging goes. I just want to be just like him. Everyone's like, oh, you don't know. So before he had his hip surgery, I mean, everyone was just like, oh, dude, you're killing us, because he was just in so much pain, and he's really stubborn, and he didn't want to have to like rely on anything. But I mean, I'm telling you, you've seen Bob. He is the picture of health. He's 80-something. And you would not think for a minute he's a day over 60.
So in essence, the reason that I was a little scared is 40 years ago, my uncle had hip replacement at Mass General, and he was a football player at Notre Dame, macho guy. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Now with my hip replacement, I was walking upstairs the same day.
I know. I mean, they've come so far, so far. What about with the knee, though? Knees are harder.
Not necessarily. I mean, sure, they're a little bit, but...
I've heard, from my mom going through knee replacement, it's a little rougher than hips, as far as just the recovery.
Holmstrom is great, and Metcalf with the shoulder, and Rasmussen with the hip. I've got my triple crown of doctors who work on me.
So basically, email Trip at questions.talk365tv with all of your joint issues, and he will answer them. He will let you know what to do, give you his protocol, and in the meantime...
I've got a punch card where I have my fifth joint replacement. I get one free.
Right? Okay, good. Tosh, so if you don't need it, maybe you can pass it on to a friend.
How about a viewer? We could
give it away.
We could get How many other shows give away
A free hip.
a free hip, knee, or
Not
shoulder?
many. That is a weird place to be, but I'm kind of excited about it. Anyway, we will be right back right after this, and we'll be talking some more wellness, so don't go anywhere.
This will be everlasting love. This will be.
Fall in love twice a day with Talk 365 TV on CW30 or anytime online. Talk 365 TV. It's an everlasting love.
Today's wellness news you can use is brought to you by Fairbanks Art of Plastic Surgery. And welcome back to the show. Trip Mitchell, Holly Love. We are going to talk about something that many people do. And now that I think about it, kind of all of us do, and that's breathing. And I have had my nose broken 4 to 6 times.
How many times have you had it fixed?
I've had it fixed once, and it was amazing.
But did it last?
It did last.
But did you break it again since?
Yes, I have.
So it's deviated again.
Yeah.
You're not breathing correctly. Do you snore?
I've been told by the neighbors and the police department and low-flying jets that I might snore.
You might snore just a teeny tiny bit.
Yeah.
Well, I have to
Never
tell
has
you.
woken me up.
Of course, it never does wake you up, but I have to tell you what this does to you when you are not breathing correctly is not only short-term problems with sleep apnea and not sleeping well, not sleeping very deeply, and we know how important deep sleep is from our functional neurologist, and what it causes long-term is stroke, sleep apnea, dementia. I mean, all of those diseases that nobody wants. And if you have a deviated septum, it also affects the way your brain is functioning. It affects your mood. It affects your ability to function not only emotionally, but also mentally and cognitively. Dr. Hatch can see it on a neurology test if you have a deviated septum. It's sort of this cool thing where all of my wellness team kind of comes together because we have Dr. Grant A. Fairbanks, who is actually the trainer of how to do a septal surgery. Now, of course, he does beautiful work for cosmetic as well. He's a board certified plastic surgeon. And so if you are worried about the way your nose looks at the end of it, but the breathing part, form and function is one in the same. And breathing correctly is so important. And we have a dear friend who works with Dr. Hatch at Brain Rehab, and her daughter was really struggling with mood, with her college, with her grades, and she was having trouble breathing. And you're going to learn all about her story and how through having her breathing corrected, how it completely changed her life. Check it out.
Talk 365 TV's Wellness Minute is brought to you by Wellness Team Expert, Dr. Grant A. Fairbanks.
We understood that when you are not getting the airflow that you need, it'll affect your sleep, your mood, your ability to concentrate, your mental health. This is what inspired us to explore the possibility that she might need surgery. It wasn't to correct or to make her nose perfect. We felt like she had a perfect nose already. It was internally to repair damage that we didn't even know had been done, but we also wanted the end results to be beautiful. My name is Scharman Grimmer, and my daughter Grace is a patient of Dr. Fairbanks. She was referred to Dr. Fairbanks by a coworker at the Brain Rehab Clinic. We were so excited when we had the consultation with Dr. Fairbanks. He truly educated us on what was happening for Grace internally in her nose with her deviated septum and how that was impacting her breathing. We sought out Dr. Fairbanks because we knew not only of his expertise on this exact surgery for her deviated septum, but we also were concerned about my daughter breathing more freely, but we also wanted the end results to be beautiful. As he diagrammed this, it was very understandable, and this was a good education for us. And other doctors who we had done consultations with did not give us that same level of comfort and that same education. So we tell Dr. Fairbanks he's a great artist and we love his drawings. We also know that Dr. Fairbanks teaches at the University of Utah medical school and teaches this very procedure. That bolstered our confidence in him. On the day of my daughter's surgery, it went much longer than Dr. Fairbanks had anticipated. He sent a nurse out frequently to give me updates, and then he himself sat with me for a good while after the surgery to explain that things were actually much worse than they had anticipated. The cartilage had been shoved up into her nose when she had broken her nose at a younger age, and we didn't even know she had broken her nose. So we didn't even understand and know the full extent of the damage. So he was really good to explain that to us and to take the most fastidious, careful care of her. Then afterwards, when she was healing, he and his team took such great care of her, even keeping her longer in the surgical center, just to make sure that everything was healing and progressing the way it needed to. My husband, daughter, and I read a book entitled Breath by James Nestor. And in that book, it talked about the importance of breathing and airflow and gave us the history of why breathing is such a concern these days with certain orthodontic procedures and some of our lifestyle patterns. And so this was very intriguing to us. When we realized that our daughter truly was having such a hard time getting the airflow that she needed, this is what inspired us to explore the possibility that she might need surgery. The other thing we learned from Dr. Fairbanks is that our daughter had a birth defect that we never would have detected. The cartilage had not fully formed to the tip of her nose, which caused her to have little micro nostrils, just the tiniest nostrils, which on a little girl is so cute. But on a grown adult, you can't get enough oxygen. And so Dr. Fairbanks educated us and showed us why this was and how he could help improve this by building out the cartilage and helping that attach. As we did a lot of research about breath, we understood that when you are not getting the airflow that you need, it'll affect your sleep, your mood, your ability to concentrate, your mental health. And these were all concerns that my daughter and that we as her parents had for her. After Grace's surgery, Dr. Fairbanks sat down with me and he said, you may notice as Grace is healing that she has a little bit of a personality shift. And that is exactly what we noticed. She increased in patience. She wasn't as sharp or curt in certain situations that normally she would have been. Her grandparents came over for dinner and they made a comment and asked, wow, Grace is in such a happy, positive mood. And we explained, she's breathing. It's so exciting. She's getting that airflow that she needs, and it truly has affected her life as a college student, her ability to sleep, and really has brought up her moods. We also, a few months later, were talking with our son-in-law, and our son-in-law has had a hard time breathing, especially when he sleeps, but he seems to always be congested. And we recommended that he go to an ENT and get this checked out. We didn't know if he was having any internal issues. Came to find out that it was not just allergies, which is what the first ENT told us. We sent him to Dr. Fairbanks, and Dr. Fairbanks discovered that our son-in-law was completely 100% occluded on one side, which meant he was not getting any airflow in one side, and on the other side he was 45% occluded, which meant he was not getting enough oxygen at all. And so we were able to set up his surgery to have this repaired. So we're looking forward to helping our son-in-law breathe more easily. Myself, my husband, my daughter, and my son-in-law, we would all recommend Dr. Fairbanks. He is an incredible plastic surgeon.
This is an important message for anyone drowning in credit card debt, struggling just to make minimum payments, or tired of the collection calls. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, personal loans, medical bills, or collection accounts, you may qualify for our Debt Restart program. Call right now to see if you qualify. This program is designed to help you get out of debt in as little as 24 to 48 months. Representatives are standing by to take your call. Don't wait. Call the number on your screen now.
Today's Talk 365 TV's Talking Wellness is brought to you by Corrective Techniques. And welcome back to the show. One of the things that I've enjoyed talking about is positive mind management and how you can use hypnotherapy to really kind of focus and eliminate some of the negatives. Because you've got an automatic transmission in your life, and that's your brain. And if you choose to shift
Learn
gears
how to
properly,
use it.
Yep,
Right?
it works.
So we lost our dear mentor and colleague, Dennis Parker, in 2021 to cancer, which was a shock to all of us. And he was a leader in hypnotherapy. He created the method Positive Mind Management Certified Clinical Hypnotherapy. And it is a game changer in the way that you approach not only hypnotherapy in sessions, but long-term, the way he would teach his clients and his students how to teach their clients how to manage your mind and how your brain works. And so it has been a sad and big loss, but what is great is he had trained up to 10,000 students over the course of his time. He owned and ran Certified Clinical Hypnotherapy Training School, and Mike Olson was one of his first graduates and one of my very first interviews. When I first started working with Dennis Parker, Mike was one of my first interviews that we got to get a testimonial. Now, Mike has such a fascinating story because he was a personal trainer, he was a dietitian, he was a massage therapist before he became a clinical hypnotherapist and started working with Dennis and then became certified. And he did it because all of those things combined, he was not seeing lasting change. All of those different industries singularly promised that you could really change people's lives, but he kept seeing people come in with chronic pain, chronic weight problems, chronic. And he had his client that actually had these huge changes with their weight, and he was like, what happened? And she said, I found a hypnotherapist, and that's when he sought out Dennis, and you're gonna hear his whole story. So we are so excited to have Mike Olson be part of our wellness team. He is a certified clinical hypnotherapist that follows Dennis Parker's positive mind management method. And if you are struggling right now, mental health is such an important thing to be aware of. This is the guy you should call, and you're gonna see why right here, right now. Check it out.
Talk 365 TV's Talking Wellness is presented by Corrective Techniques with wellness team expert Mike Olson.
And I eventually had a client who all of a sudden started making major changes. And I asked her what was going on. And she told me she had done hypnotherapy. Hello, I'm Mike Olson. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist, certified through ACHE, and trained and mentored by Dennis Parker, who is the creator and founder of Positive Mind Management Certified Clinical Hypnotherapy Method, which is a breakthrough in the hypnotherapy training. I am a licensed massage therapist. I'm a NASM certified weight loss specialist, and I am owner of Corrective Techniques, and I have been in business since 2007. My journey started when I got into massage therapy, and then I got into personal training as I was working at the gym, and I did that for a long time. And in doing so, I, like most everybody else in trainers, found out really quickly that my programs would work, but not everybody would stay on the program. And so I got a little frustrated after years, and then I started looking into it, talking to counselors, and I eventually had a client who all of a sudden started making major changes. And I asked her what was going on, and she told me she had done hypnotherapy. And so I started looking into hypnotherapy, and then I met Dennis Parker, and Dennis Parker trained me and taught me about hypnotherapy and how it works and how it affects our lives. And he taught me all about the different forms of hypnosis and hypnotherapy and how they can be used. And he became my mentor, and he was the creator and founder of Positive Mind Management Certified Clinical Hypnotherapy Method, which is a breakthrough in the hypnotherapy training. Now, there's three main forms of hypnosis. The main one that most people know is suggestion hypnotherapy. This is the common one. Common practice for hypnotherapy, and this is where you go and you say suggestions and you repeat them, and as long as these suggestions are accepted, they can start making lifelong changes mentally and eventually in your thought patterns and your behaviors. And then there's clinical hypnotherapy. Clinical hypnotherapy is where you actually go down and you find the root of where false beliefs or maladaptive thoughts have been created, and you're able to go down and clear those out. And then where positive mind management comes in is where you are able to go in yourself and learn how to manage your thoughts, your emotions, and have access so that you can direct yourself to the things that you would like instead of the things that you don't like. And you're able to clear up your own behaviors. And that's the main key. And that's where, as soon as I started doing that, my clients for personal training really started making lasting results. And people who were having other issues, having anxiety, having high levels of stress, they started learning how to manage these things themselves. And so using all of these techniques that Dennis taught me, I've been able to go and help people improve their lives, improve their health, and relationships with others, and being able to understand how to communicate more effectively. Now, for most people, they wonder, what is hypnosis? What is hypnotherapy? As far as hypnosis goes, hypnosis is something that we all experience every single day. Hypnosis is simply the states of mind that we go through when we're waking up in the morning, and we go through them when we're going down into sleep. We go through these different states automatically. With hypnotherapy, we're able to go and put you in a specific state and get you a specific result depending on your goals and your needs. With hypnotherapy, a lot of people have concerns. What's going to come up? Am I going to be in control? Am I going to be controlled? These things are not really what hypnotherapy is all about. Hypnosis is not something anybody can do to you. Hypnosis is something you allow to be done. And what we do is teach you the difference between these different states and how to use them for your best benefit. It also helps it so that you can choose what you accept in and identify these things so that you can control what is coming into your thoughts and any intrusive thoughts, how to defend against them and how to clean them out. So again, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. And all a hypnotherapist does is help coach you in your thoughts and teach you how to focus on the things that you want and resolve the things that you don't want. And with repetition and practice, you can have lasting, lifelong changes in your thoughts, in your moods, and in your behaviors, and in your life choices. What are the benefits of hypnotherapy? The benefits of hypnotherapy are you are able to start becoming consciously aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and your moods, and why they are there. Then you are able to start directing them. What got me into it was I was initially looking to help find a way to help my clients remove emotion from eating. Because so many of people are emotional eaters, and so many of my clients, when they would get stressed, they would eat, and then they would eat, it would throw them off their diets, and then it would take them away from their goals. So as we're able to go down and identify these things, we are able to go and help people not become emotional eaters, but become conscious eaters. And so they're able to consciously stay on track towards their goals and not be emotionally reactive to sets of circumstances or whatever life may be happening around them. And so we are able to help put them in the driver's seat of their own lives and their own choices rather than in a reactive state from sets of circumstances that are beyond their control. When I'm working with clients, and I find it very common, we all have cravings that hit us. We all have patterns that we get built up. Some of them are taught from our families. Some of them are just things that from situations socially or whatever we're doing with other people around. And so we start getting into this reactive programming that's been built up. And a lot of cravings come from emotional induced issues. And if we're able to go down and clear up those emotionally induced issues, then we are able to solve the cravings. If we're able to help people who's a stress eater help manage and decrease their stress, we are then able to help them stay on track towards their goals and not become susceptible to those cravings and succumb to those temptations, and they're actually able to control and manage those a lot better. So an example of one of my clients that wanted to lose weight. He had major health problems, heart issues, and he came to me. And as we started going through the process, we found out the reason that he kept sabotaging himself was because of an event that happened when he was 12 years old. And he had some friends that were pushing him around. And then he ended up getting pushed off of a deck, and he ended up getting hurt. As we went and were able to help him resolve this, we found out that the belief he had formed was, I am not going to allow myself to be pushed around anymore. And so his natural subconscious response was to make himself bigger. And how do we make ourselves bigger? What's the fastest way to do that? Eating. And so he found out that the fastest way to keep himself from being pushed around was making himself bigger, and so he would eat and eat and eat. Even as an adult, as he felt like his boss was pushing him around, he felt like family members or other people were forcing him to do things he didn't want to do. This was his trigger, and then he kept eating and eating and eating. And as we went and helped resolve this issue, his wife called me up 2 weeks later, says, I don't know what you did, but I love you. He has lost 18 pounds in the last 2 weeks, and all he did was come see you. So if you're liking what you're hearing, you're interested, and it feels right to you, please sign up for a free 15-minute online consultation, and we will email you an intake form and an introductory packet. And from there, we have a 3-session pack that can help save you some money and get you going in the right direction. Looking forward to meeting you, talking with you, and seeing what we can do to help you out. Thank you for your time.
Talk 365 TV's Wellness Minute is brought to you by Brain Rehab Clinic.
Hey, my name is James Lawrence, the Iron Cowboy, and I'm best known for doing 50 Ironmans, 50 days in 50 states, and most recently, 100 consecutive full-distance triathlons with no days off. And once you complete something like that, you realize how powerful the mind is, and everybody's fascinated with preparation and execution, and then when recovery happens, you realize how much trouble you're in. And I've had at least 6 concussions, and then also broke my back at that Conquer 100. And the back has healed itself, but I now have this incredible pain. Never thought I'd run again until I found these guys right here, and Dr. Hatchie's incredible, and he has totally changed my life. I'm now back to running, pain-free. In fact, I'm going to the World Championships this year to be competitive again, and that I never thought would be possible. So thank you so much to everybody here, and I would recommend it to every single person that's ever experienced any trauma or anything in their lives. This place will change you.
And we're back, a very fun morning.
Very fun.
You know, I run into more people who watch our re-airing.
I know. Well, 1 a.m., it's always fun because we book in the day. And then, of course, we're online because the world we
Are
live
you
in
awake
now.
between 1 and...
I usually catch us on both sides because I never sleep.
Okay. Sleeping is important as well.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I know. But anywho, we love our people who are watching us at 5 a.m., 1 a.m., or anytime online. YouTube, Facebook, Trip.
I have a service. I didn't realize that. But a lot of fun. We've talked about some interesting stuff this morning, and we'll do it again tomorrow for Holly Love. I'm Trip Mitchell. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.